Hello folks, a little bit different for our next painting. It's this little illustration that I've done of a little student and a cat, but I think it's got to be useful because I'm going to be putting like some big washes on and mixing colour on the paper, so it'd be useful from that point of view. So I've got the board quite flat, because I'm gonna work on the sky first, and allow the colours to sort of flood together. So it's better to have it quite flat. So working on cartridge paper as well, which you'll get a different effect. So it's a smooth paper. So when the watercolour dries or is settling on the paper, you will get a different address. So it's useful from that point of view. So working in this area, I'm just going to wet it. So just clean water there. Just working around the moon and around the little cat there. And this paper's been stretched as well, so I don't know whether you know, if you do or not, of how to stretch paper, but it makes the paper really tight and it stops it from cockling and buckling up when you put lots of wet colour on. There we go. Right, so that's wet. And if I start off, so I've got some Windsor blue there. I'm going to use that around the moon there. So that's going to give the sort of a glow of the moonlight into the darkness of the sky bit around it. That's good. Don't forget there as well. Don't have to be too careful because the drawing's there. It's set. So I suppose in the words of Jim Bowen, it's safe. That's safe now. Right, so what I'm doing now, I've got ultramarine blue. Just making up a big puddle. I'm just going to throw that on. Just try and mix it into that Windsor blue there. You can probably see, I don't know, if you're used to using watercolour paper, it's already looking a different effect. I need a bit more blue there. Just get some more ultramarine. Let's make it a bit darker. And I'm going to add some neutral tint to it to make it really quite deep. In the corners there, around the edges. And then I'm just going to let the colour run about like that and mix. Just sort of using gravity to pull the colours together. I'm just assessing it now, so I think I might go a little bit darker still. With the ultramarine and the neutral tint, just sort of on the edges there. Just make it really dark. Just coming back into it. So it's still wet, so I've got the opportunity to put stronger colour in there. Just sort of preserving that glow of the Windsor blue around the sky, the moon there. Good. And again, just letting that flood. You can blow it as well. You can sort of just spread the colour by blowing it. But gravity's a good one. to just let the colour, hopefully you can see what I'm trying to do there. And as well, assessing sort of the whole picture, because however dark this dries will govern how strong I need to make the colours on the two characters and the tree and the branch there. So that's one thing to bear in mind as well. What I'm going to do as well, there's a little bit of housekeeping to do there. Just take that, make that edge a bit cleaner. Doesn't matter if the colour creeps in a bit, that would add to the glow of the moon. Right, good. So carrying on underneath, so we started off, we wet the paper, didn't we? So I'll do that, so we're sort of keeping to the technique of what we're doing. So just wet that with the squirrel brush. Doesn't have to be too wet, just allows the colour to flood. And then carry on with the ultramarine. And then I'm going to put some crimson in, imagining you're sort of going towards the horizon and you're getting some effects of the remains of the day, really. In a minute I'll just again use a bit more gravity to just pull that. Whew. A bit dizzy now. Good. So that's the background wash. I'm gonna work now with the board tilted. So I'll just pause the video for a second. Okay, so now working onto the moon, so adding some colour to that, and I've made up a grey blue colour with the ultramarine and the crimson and yellow ochre. I'm going to start with a really gentle sort of wash at the top there, just pushing it on like that with the brush, and going a little bit stronger on this side with the colour. Just working around the head there. And then it's going to go a bit warmer. So with yellow ochre and a bit of crimson. There's a little dragonfly there. I can add some more detail with the pen into that in a minute. Well, later on. Right, so that'll do for the moon, and I'll start working on the figures now. I'm going to use a smaller brush, and then starting with yellow ochre, so really bright, bit of burnt sienna in it as well. So just describing the falls in the hair there. Maybe a bit of crimson as well. And then making a skin colour with crimson and yellow ochre. And just leaving a little bit of white just to show the strength of the moonlight there. And that's a bit pinky, so if I just going to cool that down by adding a bit of blue into it. There we go. And then for the arm, so using the same colour while you've already got it mixed. Should be a bit, just a little bit of white there. That's good. And then I've just noticed I need, just to frame the head, so it's a bit of a darker blue there for the moonlight, just in that little gap there. And then add in the t-shirt colour. So if I make up crimson with a bit of ultramarine, a nice like purpley colour. Again, leaving little bits of white to show the strength of the moonlight there. Oh, that's run into the finger there, I'll just clean that up. There we go. So just using blue for the jeans. So I've just put some warmth there to show that light sort of transferring, and it as if it's flooding across the surface of the knee there. And we've got the boot. I'm going to do that quite warm. I'm going to just use quite a bright colour for that. And if the colours start running together, it's fine, it just adds to it. There's a little bit of confusion there, so if I go back and just try and sort of model around the back of the t-shirt there, just to show the definition between the edges there. That's good. And then for the cat, it's a white cat, so it's going to have a little bit of a cast shadow on it. I'll start off with warmth, so just like we did with the knee there, there's a bit of warmth being thrown onto the surfaces from the moonlight. There we go. And again, just in that little gap there. That's good. So she's got some little white pumps on, so I'm just going to leave those for now, and I'm going to make, I'm going to do the tree with, so I'm going to get neutral tint with crimson. I'm going to do it like quite a warm dark colour and just see what that looks like. So there we go. And then on the underside, just using the Windsor blue, just to give the impression that the light's bending around the surface of these branches coming underneath. That's good. Just adding some more strength to the colour there, because that sort of defines the sort of change and contrast. And same with the boot, just there. It's not too bad, that. And then, so she's got pumps on, so a little, like a toffee coloured sole underneath there. But going cooler as it goes away. Good. There's some of the Windsor blue for the little dragonfly there with the little wings. Just sort of tidying up a little bit now. Don't want to be too fussy, but just a few little things tidying up there. Right, I'm just testing if that's dry. So what I want to do now, I want to add some
some stars in the sky. So using just normal gouache, just make a little bit of paper like this. Needs to be quite thick, so just a bit of water on it like that. And then that's a big one. And then I think I said at the beginning there was some bits on the moon that we could, so there's quite a lot of detail. We don't want everything, every detail, but there's like this crater there on the moon there. So this is a waterproof brush pen, and I'm just using it to emphasise the fact that they're casting quite a strong shadow on this tree. There we go. Just sit back and assess it a little bit and see if there's anything else. A few more stars, make these a bit more prominent. There we go. I think that'll do it now because I'm just looking for things to do, but hopefully it's a little bit of a learning thing about using stretch paper and a different paper and applying like a really wet wash. So hopefully you find it useful. So let me know how you get on.